Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Andrew Knoll, and I am teaching Intro to Philosophy this term. In just a bit, I'll have a quick video explaining to you just what exactly philosophy is and what we're going to be doing in this class. But before I get started with that, I just want to give you a quick tour so you can see how to navigate around on our perusal and our Blackboard site here. So you can see over on the left here, you should be accessing this video in the Start Here menu, but most of the action is going to take place over here in Coursework. And you see that in this Coursework area, I just have a link to each week of class. So for each week of class, I'll post some materials that you can just work through on your own time that week. I've posted some deadlines. In general, I have readings that are due on Monday and Thursday of each week. I'm going to be pretty forgiving about deadlines there. You know, if you need a couple days wiggle room on getting the readings done, that's fine, but I think it helps to just have them spaced out with some deadlines through the week. So you can see here's a little Start Here area where you've started watching this video. So for this week, I'd like you just please to take this anonymous survey first, just so I can get an idea of how everyone's doing at the start of the class, what you're interested in studying this term. Then I don't have any regularly scheduled Zoom classes for this term. We are technically asynchronous, but I want to schedule some Zoom classes each week if people are interested in them. They'd be completely optional. So if you're interested in coming and chatting with me and your classmates once or twice a week, fill out this form, let us know when you would be available to do that, and then I'll see if I can schedule some recurring Zoom meetings so that we can check in with each other and kind of see one another face to face. And then I just have some tips here on how to do these discussions in Perusal. Perusal is the platform that I'm using to give you your readings each week, and which will do most of the work in the class. We'll be able to chat with one another about the readings, and you can ask questions about the readings as you read them. It worked out really well last term, so I think it will continue this way. So let's go to Coursework here, and to give you an idea of how this perusal process works, let's go to week 1. That's this week. So these are the things I have teed up for us to do this week. As you can see, not very much right now. I'm just taking this week for us to get to know one another, make sure we're all connected over Blackboard, and to start kind of getting curious and thinking about the sorts of things we're going to be studying in philosophy. So, under this first week, you see there's just this one thing, these philosophical conversation starters, so you want to click on that. And then what Blackboard will do is route you to this little thing, and then what you'll have to do, this is very important, you have to go down here and click Launch, and then it's going to open up this platform called Perusal, where I've got the first little activity for us to do right now. Now, when you open this, it might ask you to register a bit first. Do that. Once you do, then you'll be able to just go right in like I just did. And what I have for us this week is just a series of little fun and progressively more serious philosophical conversation starters. So some questions that we can think about and discuss with one another. And the cool thing about Perusal is that it allows you to read what's in the little screen here, the questions I've got teed up for us, and then you can create comments and ask questions just by clicking over here. So let's say I want to answer the question, is a hot dog a sandwich? I can just highlight that question, and then it will bring up a little window over on the right side of my screen, and I can write a comment. Definitely not. Let's see. Why aren't hot dog sandwiches? Sandwiches must not have connected pieces of bread. And so you can do that. Then make sure to click Submit or hit Enter to make your comment, and then it shows up there, and then your classmates can come along and comment on what you've said about the reading. They can go in and say, no, a hot dog is a sandwich, and here's why. So notice that when you make a comment like this, you can tag me or your classmates by just doing @ and then start typing in their first name. I don't know why it's not letting me do that immediately. It might just be because no one else is registered right now. But usually if you type that in, it builds up a menu and you can just click on the person you want to tag in your comment. If you ever have any questions that you want to make sure I notice and come in and give you an answer to, just tag me and I'll pay particular attention to comments that you've tagged with my name. You can add images or videos or link to an outside website in your comments if you like. If you think there's something relevant that we should check out or take a look at, I'll be doing that on a lot of the posts in Perusal as well. So each week, like I said, you should have about 2 readings that you'll do in Perusal. There'll be more philosophical readings, not just things like this. And I expect you to make at least about 2 substantive comments on Perusal, either responding to the reading directly or responding to me or some of your classmates. I gave you some guidelines about how best to do that in the little Start Here section in Blackboard. Now, when you want to see all the comments people have made, you can go over here and click on the 2 little chat bubbles, and it will show you all the comments people have made. So you can see I've already made some comments on these things, so you can go in and check out some of the comments that I've made. Here I've got a little video that might be relevant to figuring out whether a hot dog is a sandwich or whether soup is soup. You can go back to see all of the comments again. There's another comment that I made down here on this question about why doesn't 2 + 2 = 5. Some of you may have seen this TikTok post that addresses the same question. So this first assignment for this week is just helping you get familiar with Perusal and how it works, getting to know one another and me, and then once you get to know that, we'll be off to the races to start really digging into some philosophy. But some of the questions I've teed up here, even though they might seem a little silly, they actually get surprisingly deep the further you go, and you'll see that we'll be learning a lot of stuff that will kind of illuminate why some of these questions are really deep and interesting after all. All right, so that's Perusal. I'm just going to switch back over to our Blackboard tab here, just to give you a little more of an idea of how this all works. So I'll go back to the Coursework tab there. So once we've worked on this week, our first week, we'll start out our first unit on epistemology. This is the study of how we know things, or what the nature of knowledge is. So for next week, you'll just go to week 2. Boom, and you see I've already have 2 readings posted up there. One that you should do by Monday, and then another one you should do by Thursday. Though, if you need to take a day or 2, I get it. That's fine. I'm not going to be super sticky about these things. So again, you just do the same process. Click on this reading by Plato. It'll open up another tab. You have to click Launch, and then it will take you directly to if it can get its act together, this reading by Plato called the Meno. And again, it's the same process. You can see it's just a regular sort of reading. So again, by default, your cursor in Perusal is set on this little alphabetical highlight so that you can just highlight parts of the text that you might want to comment on. So when you highlight that, boom, you can just go up and make a comment. You could also do some cool things in Perusal. If you switch over from the little alphabetical annotation and go over to the image annotation like this, you can just drop a little pin like that and just write a comment index to a little pin like that, or you can highlight a little bit of the document like this, draw a little why is it not letting me do this? Draw a little rectangle around that, and then I don't know why this is being weird. Isn't this always the case? Just draw a little really? Doesn't like that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Draw a little rectangle like that, and then you can ask something about that area of the text, like, who is this? Boom, hit enter, there's your comment. Make sure you hit enter or submit, or otherwise it just kind of stays there in perusal limbo. That's a key thing to keep in mind. Sometimes this is useful because sometimes some of the readings that I'm giving you are photocopies, so it's difficult to use this text highlighter to just highlight lines of the text, like you can see in this little text box. It's not working. So if you ever get in that situation, just go to the little image highlight, and then if I want to comment on this area, I can just draw my little rectangle around the text that I want to make a comment on, and boom, there we go. I can make my comment. So that's an intro to how perusal works and how you can navigate the day-to-day coursework. It will all be under this coursework tab. You just work your way through each week, 1 week at a time. You'll have readings and some short videos to help give you some context for those readings posted in there. Here's the rest of the menu over here. There's a link to the syllabus for the course. So if you click on there, it'll just open up this Google Doc with the syllabus in it, so you can get all the basics about the section and read a little bit about some of the things we're going to be looking at this term, what we're going to be studying, etc., and see how your grade is going to be evaluated. As you can see, those perusal discussions are a big chunk of your grade, about 30%. It's really important that you really dive in and really do some philosophy, discuss the readings that we're doing. In addition to that, we'll have 2 exams, one a midterm exam and another a second exam around the end of the term. Both of those all together, though, those will be 40% of your grade, 20% each. And then we'll do a couple little group activities, group assignments with a group of about 4 people or so each, where I'll ask you to apply some of the philosophical skills that we've been learning. And those will only be about 1 or 2 pages each. And then finally, at the end of the class, each of you will write a final paper. It'll be about 1,200 words long. That's about 4 pages or so. And I'll go over in much more detail when we get to that, how to write that final paper. And that will build on a lot of the skills that we'll be learning about throughout the course of the term. So here's a little summary of the dates that all those major assignments are due. You can read through this syllabus at your leisure. You can also see, back over on our Blackboard site, all of the stuff laid out. If you go over to the calendar here, it will give you a calendar showing when all the assignments are due, not only in this course, but it should give you a list of your other courses over here. So right now I have all the due dates that I have blocked out for our course now showing up in red. I can also show what I need to keep in mind in my human nature course by clicking that, and will show me the assignments I have in my human nature course as well. So that can be very helpful for just getting a big picture view of when all of your stuff is coming due. There's also this little planner area I put together. This will just post any current announcements that I may have made, and it should show you when things are coming up due over here in your classes. You can check your grades here. That's pretty self-explanatory. Professor, that's just some info about me. It's got my contact info here, so you can just click there. Send me an email anytime you'd like. I'm happy to chat. If you want to set up a Zoom call with me, I'm happy to do that too. Just email me and let me know when you're available. If you want to send emails to other folks in the class, you can go over to send email here and email people. And then once I set up some Zoom meetings, you can access those by going over and clicking on the Zoom meeting page here. And then finally, there's just some help with Blackboard and other university resources that you might need, especially this term, now that we're in the thick of this pandemic. So that's the overview. I won't belabor it too much, but if you have any questions, let me know and I'll get back to you. And I look forward to seeing you online and starting to learn some philosophy with you this term. All right, see you in just a bit.